I texted Melissa and
You didn't text me.
Holly.
And I'm the only one that really counts, Jill.
As kids, we always used to get a box of Heroes on a Saturday night, and we would all sit down to watch the Saturday night TV, and the one thing that was always the first to go was the fudges. My youngest brother is moving away from home for the first time, so I thought I would make him some fudge to bring with him. All of the ingredients are chucked into a pan and it's all heated to 117 degrees. I left it overnight to cool and then I dipped it in chocolate the next day, and this was the final result, but I had to try one for myself. I have a terrible sense of direction, and being in London fully confirmed this for me. The other day I was trying to get the Northern Line from Tottenham Court Road, and I go down to the station, but the only line that I can find is the Elizabeth line. So I'm just kind of wandering around in circles like a dog chasing its own tail, trying to find the Northern Line. It is just not there. I still don't understand where it was, but it wasn't there, so I had to leave the station, and then I walked around all of the streets around that kind of area for a couple of minutes, and there's like a second entrance to Tottenham Court Road that I took, but I've never felt more humbled in my life. A journey that should have taken me 20 minutes took me about an hour and a half. Now that autumn is back round again, it is officially banana bread season. And no, I never got over the lockdown obsession of baking banana bread. However, I have elevated a little bit. Banana bread is the easiest thing to make, but the best thing to eat with a cup of tea on a Saturday afternoon. And mine always includes a lot of chocolate chips, a dashing of cinnamon, and a whiskey caramel on the top as well. And as soon as I turned my back, half of it was gone.
What do you think I'm going to say to you?
No.
Correct. Goodbye.
When I was in secondary school, time felt like it was going so slowly. Every single week felt like a year. 6 years went by like it was an eternity. And as soon as I left, it's just been like this. Like every single week, I don't know where it's gone. It's been 4 years since I left secondary school. I don't know where that's gone. I can't comprehend it. Does it just keep speeding up? Is this just going to keep happening for the rest of my life? This is my Friday night crash out. This morning my dad came downstairs and requested that I made an apple and blackberry tart using the blackberries that had been growing in our local area. And so I went on a little stroll to find all of the best blackberries in our neighbourhood. I picked my blackberries, washed them, put them with my apples, cornstarch and lemon, and got to work on my pie base. These blackberries are amazingly sweet, and paired with the tart apples there really is no better dessert. I made a short crust pastry for my pie and put my filling into it. I wanted to make sure that it didn't leak through my base, so I put a small bit in first, then tipped the rest of it in, and got to work on decorating my top. I saw some cute lattice designs online, so I decided to try and recreate one, and I think it turned out pretty well if I do say so myself. This morning when I came down the stairs, my family demanded that I made a cake for dessert today. And this couldn't just be any old cake, this had to be an apple, brown butter and whiskey caramel cake. Immediately I got to work on my cakes and my caramel, being careful not to burn any of my sugar. And while my cakes and caramel were cooling, I made my buttercream icing. I had to wait for everything to cool down, otherwise the cake could topple over when you assemble it, and no one wants that to happen. And my dad helped me by eating all of the leftover scraps of cake I was cutting off. So I guess I can't really say that they never helped me with my baking. My method was cake, buttercream, caramel, and pray that nothing fell over. 4 tiers is the biggest cake that I've ever made, and once the final cake layer was on top, I did let out a sigh of relief. I've never been a very neat decorator, so when I attempted a caramel drip, it did go everywhere, but I fixed it up and got to work on my piping. Didn't like that, so changed all my piping again, and 8 hours later, this was the final result. This cake is comforting and delicious, and even my family didn't have any complaints. As I live in Dublin but work in Galway, I am no stranger to early mornings and long commutes. And also slicking my hair back when I really should be washing it. But if I need to be in Galway for a couple of days during the week, I stay over here. I usually get to the office at about 8 o'clock and then I do some sample drops in the area. I swapped some soup mugs for some coffee this morning. This really kept me going today. I needed to get a few things done in the city in the early afternoon, so I stopped in Kai, which is one of my favourite restaurants. I ate fish fingers for lunch, which were really yummy. The cakes they do here are literally the most incredible I've ever had. And that's coming from someone who bakes quite a lot. By the time I got home, it was nearly 9 o'clock and I did eat more cake for dinner. There were greens in it, so a pretty balanced dinner. I've been doing a lot of exploring around Ireland recently, and this week I was in Dingle. I wish I could say that my makeup only took me a couple seconds, but it actually took me nearly an hour. We started off our day in Bean and Dingle. They were really busy, but they had these amazing breakfast muffins. Got Caesar salads in the diner for lunch and explored the shops as well. There is nothing I love more than a shop with loads of random different things in it. Tried a bunch of pubs like Curran's and Kennedy's, and somehow managed to get all the snugs. We messed up our dinner reservations, but we ended up in Land and Sea for dinner. This is a must visit if you like seafood, although popcorn and scallops is a very weird combo. But the sea salt ice cream is definitely worth saving room for dessert. Now that I'm working a full-time job, I get the Sunday scaries like I'm still in secondary school. So to try and beat them, I went shopping, I headed for a walk in the park, and then I sat down to watch my favourite show. Usually I keep pretty active at the weekends, but I was feeling extremely lethargic this evening, so I decided to have a bit of a self-care evening. Finally washed my hair, had a shower, did some painting, and got my favourite snacks and sat in my bed for a bit more TV. I live in Dublin, but I work in Galway, so I often have to travel across the country to get to work. Today was one of those days, and I started working pretty much as soon as I got into the car at 7:15, picked up some of my favourite snacks, and had a very, very long work day today. I really like Galway this time of year because the air is all crisp, which makes going into a warm sushi restaurant even more appealing. We got rolls with smoked mackerel, katsu salmon, and this one with an omelette, salmon and tuna in it, finishing off with some salmon belly and miso ice cream.
Oh yes, I'm rumbling my tumbly. Time for something sweet. I am short, fat, proud of that, and so with all my might.
Spent a very chilled Saturday morning in Dublin with me. It is perfect cozy season weather, so I snuggled up into the couch with a cup of tea before doing my pajama pilates, which is basically just doing pilates in your pajamas, and somehow makes it much more fun. I took a really nice long hot shower this morning. Personally, I think the hotter the shower the better, and put on some light makeup just to make me feel a little bit more put together, and all of a sudden a quarter of the weekend was already gone, which is actually kind of a terrifying thought.
I really want some miso soup. Oh my god, miso soup!
It is my parents' birthday in 2 days' time, and I'm going to try and make a cake for them from scratch in their own house without them finding out. I feel like I've given myself quite a lot of criteria here. First, I have to make the fudge icing, which needs to set overnight, so I need to make it today. This should actually be the easiest part because they've gone for dinner, so I actually have a little bit of time to kill. This is the kind of chocolate that I think Augustus Gloop would have drowned in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This is all of my icing. I'm actually a little bit afraid that it might not be enough to cover the cake, but that is a tomorrow problem now. I moved on to making the cakes. My parents actually shared the same birthday, which when I was younger I thought was completely normal, and it wasn't until I was about 6 years old that I realised that most people's parents weren't born on the same day. I've put in half the eggs already, so I'm going to put in the other half. Okay, it's finally flour time. My cakes have all been made, and now they just need to go in the oven for 30 minutes. Have you ever thought that just sweet or just salty popcorn is a little bit basic? Let me help you with that. First, you're going to want a giant pot. Then add 2 tablespoons of oil. When the oil is heated, add 1/3 cup of popcorn kernels. And take it off the heat. Leave your popcorn kernels off the heat for 30 seconds. Then put it back on the heat and shake the pan. Just pop in. And when all the popping is stopped, you can take it off the heat. Here is all of our popcorn. I'm making a cinnamon bun popcorn. Next, we're gonna melt some butter. Add 3 teaspoons of dark brown sugar. You're gonna want a teaspoon of cinnamon, half teaspoon of ginger, and half teaspoon of nutmeg. Mix it all together. Then pour all of this over your popcorn mix. And you're going to shake the entire pot until it has all been covered in your spice mix. And now you have cinnamon bun popcorn for your movie night.
How to lose a guy in 10 days. She's actually going to start dating a guy and then drive him away in a week and a half.
I make it so easy to fall in love. So come give me a call. What's a girl to do? Lying on my bed, staring into the blue. Unrequited, terrifying.
I'm officially moving on to stage 2 of my cake. I nearly broke my first cake putting it onto the tray. I'm going to put on a couple of spoons of icing and then just spread it evenly across. I'm doing this in my bedroom because my parents are in the kitchen. I'm really afraid they're going to walk in. Oh my god, this is so scary. This is so scary. Another layer of icing. This is really satisfying. Chocolate cake is actually the best kind of cake. There's no question about it. I'm basically going to spread it all out on the top and let it kind of drip off the sides a bit and then cover it that way. I'm really just winging it. I got a fancier tool for the job because I can't seem to get it right. It looks pretty good to me. I'm just going to scrape the top a little bit just to give it a bit of smoother surface. Brought down my cake and my cards to the kitchen. So this is what they're going to come downstairs to in the morning. I made this card for my mum and this one for my dad. I need to stop talking so I don't make them up. But there you have it. I really hope they like it now.
Oh, whoa, Raquel, all this for one night? Don't be cray-cray. My morning stuff is in the car.
My mum's favourite place in the world is Paris, so today I decided to bring a little bit of Paris to her and make choux buns. This is not a kind of pastry that I've attempted to make before, hence why it failed so badly the first time. However, my second round did work, as you can see from how excited I am. But let me tell you, it's a lot of work to get there. This is a really interesting type of pastry because you actually don't use any raising agents in it. By that I mean no baking powder, no baking soda. It is simply the hot air that makes them bubble up to twice their size. I really want to try make some feta rolls, so I pumped in my creme patisserie to begin with, but my main task was to make shoe bun bears. I saw this idea on Pinterest. I definitely didn't come up with it myself, and they came out looking so cute. They kind of remind me of Winnie the Pooh, and they tasted as good as they looked.